Next, we're going to move on to a game called Arcane Academy.
Yes, it's designed by that guy, Eric Lang and Kevin Wilson. The art was by Sarah Ellerton and Chris Wharton, and it was published by IDW Games and Third with a 3 World Studios.
I'm pretty sure I've heard some people complain about
the Third
names that have like the movie Seven.
Yeah.
SE7.
Right.
Anyway, so Arcane Academy is essentially a abstract game for the most part, I feel like. I mean, it's got a theme to it, but what you're doing is kind of abstract. You got this little grid in front of you, and basically you put tiles on it. It's like, what, 4x3 kind of grid? 4x3, maybe? 4x4? I think it's like 4x4.
Was it only 4?
Yeah.
4x3.
I think
that sounds right.
So it's like Carcassonne size tiles, basically, in a bag. And 4 of them are out on the table. You've got a deck of cards that are items and spells. One takes mana to buy. The other one takes shards to buy. Or one takes wisdom to buy. Or intelligence or something.
Spirit, maybe?
Spirit?
Something?
One costs blue. The other one costs red. You have different components for these. One you can, only have 9 of, which is the blue. The red you can have as many as you want. Anyway, on your turn, you basically, you've got this board in front of you. It's like a player mat. And each corner has a printed tile on it, and those are actions. And so as you buy new tiles, you get to put them on your board, and you get to do those actions as well. What's cool about it, though, is when you take an action, you put a black cube on it. It's an exhaust cube, and it shows what you're taking. One action is to draw or pick a tile from the 4 available. So when you put an exhaust tile on that, or an exhaust cube on that tile, you could select one of those tiles, and at the end of your turn, you could put it on your board. Anytime you put an exhaust cube down to activate that tile, you also get to activate all the tiles directly connected to it. So up to 4 more actions, and you don't exhaust them. So some of the idea of the strategy is to place the tiles in such a manner to where you're activating tons of actions on each play,
right,
on each turn you go. There is a little bit of stipulation because they have these like little link half circles on them. So 2 tiles kind of have to be making a full circle in between them to show that they're linked or whatever. If they're not linked and you exhaust it, you don't get to activate that, even if it's direct connect to it. So some of the other things, there's only a few actions. There's like 5 actions to the game. One of them is a wild. So there's really 4. One is draw a tile. One is collect either blue or red currency. We'll just call it currency.
Yeah.
The third one is to activate an item, but before you do that, you have to buy a card, which is called completing an assignment. And so the whole point of the game is you've got some personal assignments that you have in your hand, like 3 or something like
3
4,
sounds right.
Maybe 4.
Was it 4?
It's 3 or 4. And you've got assignments on the table that as people buy them, they get refreshed and you get new assignments. And the first person to complete 8 assignments triggers the end of the game. And at the end of the round, you count up your prestige, I think, and whoever has the most points basically wins.
Right.
So each of those cards are worth different amounts of points.
Mm-hmm.
There's ways to, some of the cards might be like once you activate, you buy a card, it's an item you put out in front of you. Anytime you do something, you get to put prestige points on it. So it increases the value of it throughout the game. And so overall, I'll just start with my feelings. I feel like it was cool, but I'm concerned, obviously this is only one play so far, but I'm concerned about the components in a 4-player game because I feel like we kind of ran out in some ways. You know what I'm talking about? Do you remember?
Well,
like I had a couple of cards that's like stack a tile on it, and you can buy that tile for yourself. And then when you buy a tile, you can never really get rid of tiles unless you have the other card I'm about to talk about.
Right.
But when you put a tile on your board, you can place them over top of other tiles, stacking them. And so I had another card that's basically like kill off a tile and place it, place prestige points on this thing. So like it was like 3 whole rounds before the end of the game, I think. And we were out of points or tiles. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah. Out of the bag. Is it?
Right. There was no more tiles to draw. And, so how am I supposed to get that combo working really well unless it's like the beginning of the game, I guess.
Right.
I don't know. That's probably just minor. I guess that's one of those things where maybe it was just like the absolute perfect scenario
Right.
But overall, what did you think about the way the game played, the flow of the game and everything?
The flow of the game, I think, is fine. I did really bad on this. I know that.
That makes it tough because sometimes when you do very bad in a game, you're like, I hate this game.
No, and it's not that. I don't know. I just didn't do very well. I realized late that the tile that allows you to take or to complete assignments, you need more than one. You
do. I
don't think you need 3 or 4, but you need a second one at least.
Or at least you need a wild. Because the wild allows you to do any of the actions.
And actually, I think the wilds were, if I was going to call anything, kind of overpowered.
Yeah. I feel like you can link those pretty well, and you can at least do them twice. Because I don't think any of the wilds had more than 2 connector points on them.
Okay.
So you would put them down, and if you activate the tile next to it, to left or right, or up or down, depending on how you orient it, you can activate it twice, and then a third time in that round just by placing a cube on it.
Did you get 2 of them?
I got 2 of them, yeah.
Okay, so you had 2 and Eric had 2, but I guess going against what I'm saying, I think Hurt is kind of hung with you all without any of them, I guess. But
that's true.
I don't know. So it just seemed like that was a pretty crazy tile to get.
It's a really good tile to get. The difference is, though, I mean, it depends on, it's good for some things because it's good for complete assignment because it does the exact same thing as those actions.
Right.
It's good for activate an item because it, activates an item. But the other ones where it's gain a resource, it's only 1. And so, like, it's better to get a tile that has, like, get 2 of this resource or get 4 of this resource.
Right.
Although some of the other tiles have, like, split actions, like activate an item or complete an assignment.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them have do both. So the wild can be overshadowed a little bit depending on how the tiles actually come out. If a lot of things are coming out to where it's like, gain 1 resource or 1 of each resource, or choose one of the 2 resources, but it has a lot of connector points.
Right.
If a lot of stuff like that's coming out, then yeah, it's really good because it's in power, or it's in line with the power of those, tiles and stuff.
Right.
So,
I did like, it seemed like they balanced the tiles out with, if it's something that does something really crazy, then it was like, it had no connectors.
Right.
So I think the tiles got balanced out pretty decent. We
should mention that the other action on your turn, instead of just activating a tile and the ones next to it, is to rest. And you clear off all the exhaustion.
Mm-hmm.
There are cards that you can buy that will help clear off exhaustion as well. Anytime you do a card, it might cost less. It might be 2 points. It could be 10 points. But that's one of your 8 cards that you need. And I'm just going to go straight into the fact that I don't really like a lot of games with this mechanism, because I feel like you could do a rush mode where you're trying to do all the low point cost and just get 8 and be done.
Right.
But then by the time you get there, one person can complete 1 card.
That's what we found out, that there was 1 card that just was so high on the points that could happen. Right. And I guess it's just it's a 10-point card and it gave you 10 points, I think. Right.
Which is ratio wise awesome.
Yeah, and the cards, I think that's actually what made me kind of blah about the game, because you're starting assignments that can be garbage.
Yeah, but when you rest, you at least get to swap them out, or at least one of them. True.
So
I feel like this
game...
And
that's a blind draw even then, though. It's not like you can swap it out and pick one up that's down.
True. I think you can eliminate that with drafting. Not that it's part of the game.
That would help something.
But in a 4-player game, yeah, I could see drafting those cards being really nice.
Yeah.
I would like that. I don't know. I might even like doing it in a 2-player game. I think this would be phenomenal 2-player. I mean, it'd be so fast. Bam, I take this. Your turn. Bam, 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 bam. I mean, like, it just, even in a 4-player game, I felt like it was always my turn.
Right.
Until later in the game when somebody's activating like 4 tiles at once, stuff like that. But then eventually they run out of stuff to activate, or they don't want to keep going because, if you activate all your clusters of stuff, then you're only activating 1 tile at a time. So why activate everything on your board? Just go ahead and rest halfway through.
Right.
And so when they rest, it's like, bam, it's my turn again. Half you all rested.
Right.
So I will say the game is very short. It's great for the length, and it I thought it was pretty good. I mean, I'm looking forward to trying it multiple times, which I need to because I need to review it. So
yeah, I wouldn't mind playing it again. I kind of know what to look for now and what to not do, I guess. So I don't know. It's based on a graphic novel.
Is it?
Yeah.
I know they were showing me the art at Gen Con, and the art is awesome.
Yeah.
It's really, really cool. It's got that, I'm going to say like the Torchlight style art. Have you ever seen that?
I don't think so.
It's like a Diablo top-down kind of hack and slash game.
Okay.
It's not dark like Diablo. I'm just saying the type of game. Torchlight has that like WoW, kind of like World of Warcraft style, like vibrant colors, but really cutesy art. I don't know. It's
whenever you texted me the picture, I remember I texted back. It's a pretty looking game.
Yeah.
I mean, it's it grabs your eye art wise, if anything. So
yeah,
the art in it is nice.
They showed us the graphic novel while we were there. Yep. Yeah, I remember that now. Gen Con's a blur.
Yep.
In some ways, but so anyway, final thoughts on Arcane Academy, Matt.
I'll give it another try.
Yeah, I think that it's going to be probably best as with 3 or 2.
Mm-hmm.
I think 4 might be just like the edge of but I'm really looking forward to trying it with 2, and 3 I think is going to be better than 4 for me. So
okay.